7.2. Well,
7.2. Part 1.
Thank you all for coming this morning. As you know, we are looking into the possibility of outsourcing our IT department overseas. This is being done in order to cut costs and improve efficiency. I'd like to introduce you to Sanjit Kundu from Business Initiatives Bangalore, who is here to tell us about Bangalore as a possible location for outsourcing. Sanjit?
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to your headquarters. Today, I'd like to give you an overview of the business potential and possibilities of Bangalore as a location for outsourcing. As you probably know, Bangalore is situated in central southern India. It's the capital of the state of Karnataka. So, to begin with, let's look at some general facts about the area. What does Bangalore have to offer in business terms? Well, statistics show that 10,000 companies are based in the region.
so the first one, according to statistics, how many companies?
10,000.
10,000. So this is the first one. 10,000 companies already based in the region.
A population of nearly 7 million people ensures that there is a buoyant labor market. How well qualified is the workforce? Recent data illustrates the fact that Bangalore's educational institutions have been awarded international recognition as a result of the quality of graduates being produced from the Indian Institute of Science, for example. In fact, due to the dominance of a highly educated workforce, Bangalore is becoming the fastest growing city in Asia and has earned the nickname India's Silicon Valley.
Well, so the second one.
There are more than 7 billion popular in this city, so they have a lot of university that's may supply for laborers.
Yeah, of course. So
with high graduate.
Yeah. So he also mentioned actually quality of educational institute. So this is another point that he mentioned. And yeah, of course.
And he mentioned it's like a green city.
Yeah, green city. And he also mentioned labor market. That was like high demand labor market. So different points that he mentioned. And about the second one, what presentation technique does Sanjit use to keep the audience attention?
It's like technique we have learned in the.
Yeah, let me play it again. I want to talk about something. Let me play it again. I want to talk about something. Listen.
7.2.
Yeah.
Part 1.
Thank you all for coming this morning. As you know, we are looking into the possibility of outsourcing our IT department overseas. This is being done in order to cut costs and improve efficiency. I'd like to introduce you to Sanjit Kundu from Business Initiatives Bangalore, who is here to tell us about Bangalore as a possible location for outsourcing. Sanjit?
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to your headquarters. Today, I'd like to give you an overview of the business potential and possibilities of Bangalore as a location for outsourcing. As you probably know, Bangalore is situated in central southern India. It's the capital of the state of Karnataka. So, to begin with, let's look at some general facts about the area. What does Bangalore have to offer in business terms? Well, statistics show that 10,000 companies are based in the region, and a population of nearly 7 million people ensures that there is a buoyant labor market.
Buoyant, just let me give you this word that is important. Buoyant. Okay, buoyant labor market. So what is the meaning of it? High demand for labor. High demand for labor. That means actually a low unemployment rate. Low okay, so this is the meaning of buoyant. So another thing, so buoyant labor market, that is high demand for laborers.
How well qualified is the workforce? Recent data illustrates the fact that Bangalore's
And he asked a question.
Yes.
How well qualified? So actually the theory, the strategy is this. So he's asking, answering. This is actually the answer of the second. What is the technique? Actually, it's a good technique. Look, we have different. So when we are presenting something, so of course we use different techniques to keep audience attention. So this one is really good one. When I ask you, actually I try to engage you in my discussion. That is really good. I grab your attention. So this is really good. And keep going.
educational institutions have been awarded international recognition as a result of the quality of graduates being produced from the
So the number of qualified graduates increased. Another point, why? Because of quality of educational institution. So quality of educational institution and caused the increase of qualified graduates. This is another point.
Indian Institute of Science, for example. In fact, due to the dominance of a highly educated workforce, Bangalore is becoming the fastest growing city in Asia and has earned the nickname India's Silicon Valley.
Well, so as you could hear about the technique, just, asking questions.
Yes.
Actually, because he wanted to know if audience was, answering, they're listening, okay? So, for example, what does Bangalore have to offer in business terms? Of course, he answered himself, but this question just, caused every person who was listening to be engaged and to answer if they know, or maybe they express their opinion. So this is a good technique, asking questions. And the next one, answer this question. What two phrases does Sanjeev use to prove his information comes from factual data? Do you remember? What two phrases does? Okay, I think before talking about this part, I want to give you some alternatives. Let me show you. Look at this. Presenting factual information. So how, actually, we have some key expressions that we normally use. For example, okay, you know that diagrams are actually common parts of every business when it comes to statistics. So how to describe? So of course, for IELTS, we have exactly the same thing, but about different topics. But here we are talking about business figures. As you can see, the first and maybe the easiest, the simplest one is statistics show. So as can be seen from diagram, recent data or research show or indicate or demonstrate. So demonstrate, indicate, show, they are synonyms. They're synonyms. Yes. So which one? And they're formal words that you can use in formal context. So to present factual information, you can use different phrases. Of course, there are more, not only these. Okay, so let's talk about them one by one. So the first one, for example, according to the data, according to the data, the figures show, so let me write more. It's not bad. So when you want to present factual, presenting factual information. The first one, according to the data. The second one, the figures, the numbers. Show that, okay? And another one, the statistics indicate or show. So both are the same. Oh, indicate. So let me use, okay. So another one. Okay, and we have another one that is illustrate, the verb illustrate, that is really good one. Means show, demonstrate, okay? So all of them, for example, this chart, this data illustrate, that means show, this is formal. Now, when you want to explain, cause, yes.
That the fail we when we use when we do the tab one writing in AL,
Yeah.
right?
Of course, Briles, of course, we use, they're really usable. Illustrate, demonstrate, indicate, they are, we can say, yeah, widely used and mostly common phrases and verbs that we normally, yes, for task one, we use it. Especially, you know, when describing a chart, diagram, or for example, any visual. So this is the verb that you can use. And in speaking about in business, you also use illustrate for writing, show, indicate, speaking, okay? And now you want to explain cause and effect. Another one, the first and the most common, as a result of. As a result of course, when you want to, as a result of, when you want to introduce the effect of something, the effect of something, this led to, led is past form of lead, or this resulted, both of them, okay? When you want to actually talk about outcomes, okay? Or due to, for example, due to the increase in prices, due to the increase in, for example, everything, in prices, in everything, okay? So you can. And the next one, that is formal one, and we normally use it in writing. That is good. Consequently, consequently. And that is perfect when you want to write. Actually, I don't know your report, or I don't know everything. So for documents, for writing and formal context, that is perfect to explain the result. So the reason, the consequence, consequently, as a result of, okay? So this is the next. Yes.
I have a question.
Of course.
Consequently, similar with due to or led to.
Yeah.
The meaning that,
Okay. The meaning of consequently, that means exactly as a result of. Consequently, yeah, that is an adverb that comes from consequence and consequent. So that is as a result of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Okay,
course.
thank you.
Yeah. And now visuals. What are visuals? Chart, diagram, graphs. So you know that they are called visuals. Now, when you want to refer to visuals, so for example, if can be seen, okay, let me put this here, I think, and this one maybe, okay, this one. Well, now when you want to describe visuals, charts, diagrams, okay? The first one, if you look at the graph, if you look at the chart, but passive is better, as shown in this chart, in this diagram, in this graph, okay? This one, or for example, this part of the graph highlight, this part of the graph highlight another one, okay, that you can use. Of course, there are different phrases. Or let's focus on this area. Let's focus on this part of, okay, or this area. So different phrases that you can use. And you also have some phrases in your book. And when you want to respond, this part actually part is important. You're talking about something. Now you want to move from one point to another. The most common, let's move on. Let's move on, very common. Let's move on to the next area, to the next topic, okay? And if you want to use a little bit more formal, turning to the next point. This is formal.
That means it is coherent.
Coherent? So let me
Yeah.
say, yeah, it's like, you know, when you're talking, you know that, like linking, like, as you said, that is coherence and cohesion. So two factors, okay, especially our asses in writing. And of course, we have the same in speaking. Yes, when I'm talking, okay, I don't interrupt myself, of course. So I talked about one topic. I want to move on to the next one. I want to continue. So that is really important to be fluent. One point to another. They are good phrases that you can use. The first one, okay, that is really common. We normally use it, especially in speaking. Let's move on to the next one, okay? Then a bit more formal, this one. Turning to the next point. And if you want to use another one in addition to that, it's okay. When you want to add more details, you can say,
yeah,
in addition to, for example, that, you can add. Or another thing to notice. Another thing to notice. Different phrases, okay? And now, and I like another one. If you want to keep your audience focused, yeah, you explain something, okay, you can say, let's take a look at, yeah, let's take it, for example, let's take a look at this part of our conversation, or for example, our, I don't know, for example, our diagram. So it means I want to engage you. So you focus. And of course, now I mentioned something, okay? Then I want to refer backwards. How to say, for example, I want to tie everything together. As I mentioned earlier, for example, I'm talking about something new. I've just moved on to the new topic. Now I want to refer backwards to mention what I said before. As I mentioned before, going back to what I said. So that is really good. You can use, and of course, some other, like, they are most common phrases that we normally use, okay? Now, you want to actually summarize. Conclusion. Concluding with a strong note, the last part. Now, I want to summarize what I said. If you want to be friendly, if you want to have a clear ending, say, to wrap, to summarize things up. To wrap, to conclude. In conclusion, we normally use it, especially in writing. In conclusion. So, and this clearly demonstrates, so this is for writing. These two are really good for speaking, okay? And for example, when you want to finish, I'd like to end by emphasizing on this point. Or for example, I'd like to end by emphasizing this point. So they are useful phrases that you can use when talking about statistics. They're really useful. Yeah. Okay, now, of course, you have them. And now let's have a look, okay, at a book. Let's see. Well, this one. Okay. As you can see, again, presenting factual information, statistics shows recent data, or this one for concluding, for example. Before I go today, I'd like to leave you with some food. This message I'd like to send you away with today is, so there are different phrases, we have them. Now, let's listen to the, listening to this audio again, and tell me what two phrases does Sanjit use to prove his information comes from factual data. Okay, ready? Okay.
7.2. Part 1.
Thank you all for coming this morning. As you know, we are looking into the possibility of outsourcing our IT department overseas. This is being done in order to cut costs and improve efficiency. I'd like to introduce you to Sanjit Kundu from Business Initiatives Bangalore, who is here to tell us about Bangalore as a possible location for outsourcing. Sanjit?
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to your headquarters. Today, I'd like to give you an overview of the business potential and possibilities of Bangalore as a location for outsourcing. As you probably know, Bangalore is situated in central southern India. It's the capital of the state of Karnataka. So, to begin with, let's look at some general facts about the area. What does Bangalore have to offer in business terms? Well, statistics show that
Statistics show. Very good.
10,000 companies are based in the region, and a population of nearly 7 million people ensures that there is a buoyant labor market. How well qualified is the workforce? Recent data illustrates the fact.
The next one, recent
data
illustrate that.
Fact that Bangalore's educational institutions have been awarded international recognition as a result of the quality of graduates being produced from the Indian Institute of Science, for example. In fact, due to the dominance of a highly educated workforce, Bangalore is becoming the fastest growing city in Asia and has earned the nickname India's Silicon Valley.
Yeah, so this is the first one. What phrases does Sanjit use to explain the cause? Do you remember two phrases? I heard two phrases. Do you remember for cause and effect?
B?
No. What phrases? He said due to.
As a result.
Yeah, of course, as a result of.
Yeah.
As a result of and due to. So, yeah, of course, due to and as a result of. So phrases that he used to actually explain the cause of. The first one, Bangalore's educational institutes having international recognition. And of course, Bangalore becoming the fastest growing city in Asia. He said due to, okay, and then explain. Well, now listen to part 2 of presentation and answer questions. Number 1, okay, is Bangalore's ability to attract industry a recent development? And what do these figures relate to? And what is Sanjit's final argument for investing in Bangalore? So let's see, Bangalore 7.3.
7.3. Part 2.
I've briefly looked at the background, so let's move on to some business facts. You will notice on this chart the breakdown of traditional industries such as engineering in relation to the emergence of IT companies. Bangalore has a strong tradition of attracting engineering companies to the region as a result of its engineering colleges. A knock-on effect of this has been the establishment not only of government-run companies such as Hindustan Machine Tools, but also companies from the private sector. A subsidiary of the German Robert Bosch Group has been present in this region for several years. What's more important and exciting for our potential investors is the new emerging economy focusing on IT. As I mentioned earlier, this has earned us the name India's Silicon Valley, and it is easy to see why. IT is booming. Let's turn our attention to some specific facts on the IT sector. Looking at this slide, we can see it is expected that Indian IT services will continue to grow by 25 to 28% annually, and Bangalore accounts for about 1/3 of India's software exports. And have a look at these figures. More than 1,500 software and outsourcing companies, 512 of them multinationals, have offices in Bangalore, employing over 170,000 workers. In the first 4 months of this year alone, 64 new offices were opened in the city. Subsequently, nearly 1,000 new staff are being taken on every month. The job market is being fueled by the tens of thousands of students in the area, many of them graduating from the Institute of Science, which I referred to earlier, and many of them specializing in IT-related subjects. A further point to mention is that a new sector of the job market is being opened up, offering opportunities for women employees. 25% of the workforce in software companies here is now female. The effect of this is more financial independence and greater freedom for them to pursue a career. Before I go today, I'd like to leave you with some food for thought. Investment in Bangalore has resulted in dramatic positive lifestyle changes for its people. Their futures are being secured, and their quality of life has been improved threefold. By investing in our region, you will not only have the advantage of obtaining highly skilled employees with a strong work ethic, but you will also ensure that our skilled workforce remains within India. Surely a win-win situation for us all.
Well, the first one, okay, is Bangalore's ability to attract industry a recent development?
Yes, because he mentioned that Bangalore very strong in engineering and
So, but
in IT.
tradition, but he said tradition.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not recent, of course. So it's not recent means something new. But no, it's not something new, of course. Has a tradition of course, attracting companies, of course. So not recent. Yeah. And the next one, okay, look at these numbers and let's describe.
He mentioned that
So we have 25 to 28.
yes, the company grow, the number of company grow
Growth.
from the 25 to 28% year over year.
Yeah, but he said, yeah, of course, growth, but growth in IT services every year. So like annually.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, but growth. B, okay, 512.
That a company.
Yeah, this one, I think it was outsourcing, like, companies maybe have built offices in Bangalore, maybe like this. So I'm not sure about this, but I think he said like it was outsourcing companies that have built offices in Bangalore. So I heard something like, or
I think so.
I heard something about software as well. And 64.
I'm not sure, but I hear that he mentioned the women's jump into the job market.
64, no, it can't be. It can be, yeah, related to the number of offices. Yeah.
Number of office.
Yeah, of course. In the first, yeah, of this, yeah, the first 4 month of the year, I remember. And 1,000, this one is about, I think, new staff. Yeah, per month.
Yeah.
New staff. Okay. And the final argument.
He mentioned that's the opportunity, the big opportunity for investor when for they invest into Bangalore, because the quality of life increase in Bangalore, and in the last one he mentioned that it's the investing environment in a win-win situation.
Very good. Of course, win-win situation. Why? As you said, yes, it's really good. Maybe a condition like, opportunity, of course, for investors to actually have skilled workforce. And they will also ensure that this workforce, remains in India. So that is actually win-win situation in India, but of course, good, skilled workforce. So both of them. Okay, well, so the only maybe challenging part for you was these numbers. Okay, that is normal. If you want, of course, you can listen again. If no, we can keep going with this. Yeah?
Yeah, I want to listen again.
Of course. And I will pause. So, one by one. Okay.
7.3. Part 2.
I've briefly looked at the background, so let's move on to some business facts. You will notice on this chart the breakdown of traditional industries such as engineering in relation to the emergence of
traditional industry such as engineer. So traditional. So this is the word.
IT companies. Bangalore has a strong tradition of attracting engineering companies to the region as a result of its engineering colleges. A knock-on effect of this has been the establishment not only of government-run companies such as Hindustan Machine Tools, but also companies from the private sector. A subsidiary of the German Robert Bosch Group has been present in this region for several years. What's more important and exciting for our potential investors is the new emerging economy focusing on IT. As I mentioned earlier, this has earned us the name India's Silicon Valley, and it is easy to see why. IT is booming. Let's turn our attention to some specific facts on the IT sector. Looking at this slide, we can see it is expected that Indian IT services will continue to grow by
Indian IT services will continually to grow
25 to 28% annually and
between 25 to 28% annually. So this is yes.
Bangalore accounts for about one.
Yeah, that means
annual. That means year over year.
Of course, annual means every year.
Yeah. Okay.
Every year. Annually, every year, of course. The next one. Okay.
Look at these figures. More than 1,500 software and outsourcing companies, 512 of them multinationals, have offices in Bangalore.
512 multinational softwares. Yeah. And
employing over 170,000 workers. In the first 4 months of this year alone, 64 new offices were opened in the city.
64 new offices were opened.
Yeah.
Subsequently, nearly 1,000 new staff are being taken on every month.
Nearly
Yeah.
1,000.
The job market is being fueled by the tens of thousands of students in the area, many of them graduating from the Institute of Science, which I referred to earlier, and many of them specializing in IT-related subjects. A further point to mention is that a new sector of the job market is being opened up, offering opportunities for women employees. 25% of the workforce in software companies here is now female. The effect of this is more financial independence and greater freedom for them to pursue a career. Before I go today, I'd like to leave you with some food for thought. Investment in Bangalore has resulted in dramatic positive lifestyle changes for its people. Their futures are being secured, and their quality of life has been improved threefold. By investing in our region, you will not only have the advantage of obtaining highly skilled employees with a strong work ethic, but you will also ensure that our skilled workforce remains within India. Surely a win-win situation for us all.
Well, okay, well, and now let's see, okay, let's see. Complete these sentences from Sanjeet's presentation with the praise of read in the list, okay?
Yeah.
And let me say something. I heard actually threefold. He said at the end of his speech, he said threefold, increased threefold. What is the meaning of threefold? That is 3 times. 3 times.
Yeah.
It's increased 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and now, number 1. Okay, let's see. I've briefly at the background. So actually this preposition helps like at. So let's on, at and on.
I briefly look at the background. So let's move on to some business fact.
Definitely, yes. Very good. Number 2, you will on something. On this. So which one?
You will look. No. You will. You will look on this and look on this finger.
No, we don't look on. We look at, but we focus, we notice on something. So we notice, okay.
Yeah, on this chart.
Of course, on this chart breakdown. And you know, the breakdown of traditional industry, just breakdown means more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you will notice on this chart, very good, the breakdown of traditional industries, very good. As I
mentioned.
Very good. This has
earned
us, very good. The name India, Silicon Valley. And 4, let's
let's look our finger.
Let's look, no, let's, okay, or something. So after or, I need something like a noun. Look, I want to move on to a new topic. So I can say, let's turn our attention, okay, to some specific facts on the IT sector. So this is better. It means let's move on to this sector. Let's turn our attention, turn attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's turn
Turn
out.
attention means to focus on something new.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's turn attention. And the next one, number 5, is at. Again, I have at. So definitely the verb something like, and the verb should be ing because at the beginning of every sentence, looking, very good.
Looking at this
Looking,
slide, we can see
yeah,
it's expected that Indian IT services will continue grow.
very good. 6, you have, again, at these.
Mm. Uh, you have a look at
Very good.
the finger.
Very good. These figures, great. And before I
go today. I would
yeah,
like to leave you with
of
some
course,
food for thought.
of course.
And
And
investment in Bangalore has results in dramatic
yeah,
positive
of course,
lifestyle change.
of course. Resulted in dramatic positive lifestyle changes. Of course, very good. Resulted in changes. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, and let me say something about this phrase that is food. Yeah, some food for thought. So this is actually idiom. And what normally we use in business or speaking, so we use it. For example, what does it mean? It means think deeply when you consider something carefully. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, I don't know, this presentation gave us some real food for thought. So something to consider, to think deeply. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. Yeah. Or maybe like, interesting suggestions so I can definitely think about it. Okay, so this is the meaning of food for thought.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see here we have, yeah, as you can see, line graphs. So of course, a part of it, not, yeah. Use the slides to prepare a short presentation. So this is writing, but we need to talk about writing. That is really important part, and it's not easy at all because, the language, words, phrases are totally different. So we need to focus on this. So as you can see, we have 2 lines. Normally in line graphs, we have more than 1 line. So it's not only one. One is so easy. And we need to compare. If the, for example, line meet each other at one point or no, we have increase, decrease, I don't know, like, different words and phrases, plummet, plunge, so different verbs. So we should write, but let me see if, okay, changes in your company or in the economy of your country. Why a particular company should relocate to your own city, okay, and why a potential investor should invest. Well, choose one of these topics. I want you to choose one of them.
Yeah. Overheads mean the total cost, right?
Yeah. Overheads and IT investment, salaries, start of assets, shareholder values. Okay. And this one, just let me say something. When we say this, it depends. That is really important. When you ask about one word, of course, this word can have one meaning, but pay attention and be careful because one word can have different meaning, as I told you many times. In business, for example, overhead can be ongoing cost, like can be salary. So for example, I have a business running, okay?
Yeah.
So this can be ongoing because that is overhead. So that is really important. For example, what is overhead cost? Maybe rent is one of them. Maybe salary is one of them. So it depends, okay? So it's, for example, I say, I think it's better to find a way to reduce our overheads, to increase profit. So that is really important in what context you use it, okay? Well,
so I have a question about the overhead. Overheads is not include salary or include.
of course, it definitely includes. Let me say, everything, every cost can be included. Rent can be included. Salary can be included. And office, for example, I don't know, supply insurance, so different costs. So all of them can be. And of course, if you want to make more profit, you need to reduce it. Okay. As you can see here, so IT investment, okay, and overheads down. So I think this fact can be good because when you decrease your overheads, actually you make more profit. So yeah, of course. This is really good. Okay. Yeah. And just let me say something. When we say overhead and I say salary, the point is important. So we need more workers. So we need to invest. This is not included. If you want to, if you want to produce more workers, so it's not included, but salary is. Well, and so you can choose one of this.
In the section 7, we can choose advantages of Bangalore.
Okay, let me see. What is it? Advantages? I can see. No, part 8, I mean, look, part actually advantages and your benefit. So as you can see, we want to write. So first we should write our essay on this. So this is something different. And we also have this one. We want to actually make a good presentation. So about one of these topics, you can choose one of them and we can practice. So of course, I will give you a good sample and I will tell you how to write.
And what?
1 or 2 or 3, choose one of these topics.
That means 1, 2, 3 is the different topic, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think we can choose it in random because
because all of them are difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will choose one because actually this part is not, but maybe you will need it. So the next session we will focus on writing. That is really important. And I think it's essential, especially because you are, of course, because of your job and your career. So it's really important how to write and how to actually analyze data, okay, and trace diagrams. Okay, so the next time we will focus and we will practice this. I will choose one of these topics and of course we will write together. Okay, well, okay, so let's skip this part for now since we have no time. And any other questions?
No, I don't.
So have a great working day and of course the beginning of the week. So fruitful week and see you.
Thank you and see you.
You're welcome. Of course, goodbye.
Bye.